video from NC State, but it's what we got. If y'all missed the presentation that Carla Gray did at the monthly meeting, we're gonna have her back, so I'd really encourage y'all to be a part of it. We take diversity and inclusion here, really seriously. So we want to, be accessible and inclusive to all. So if y'all, and then there's a sheet being passed around, I believe. So if y'all can just please sign that so that we have a record. We just need to, we have to have a record to show that we show this video to our volunteers each year.
Hey Sam,
Yes.
for our monthly meetings, can they be streamed over Zoom so that some of us that work full time could actually participate?
Yes, that's a great question. So you probably noticed the lovely 86-inch TV that we have now got installed yesterday. So we're going to be continuing to outfit this room so that every single presentation it'll be recorded. We'll have Zoom access, and so again, just
thank you.
Making sure we have as much accessibility as possible. So that's a huge part of it. Without further ado, go.
Varsity training for volunteers and advisory leadership members. Training is required for all extension staff, volunteers, advisory councils, and committees. Everyone making a decision or carrying out actions on behalf of an extension program are responsible to make sure that the program is inclusive for everyone. The term diversity symbolizes our human differences, no matter how you define it, linguistically, culturally, religiously, ethnically. The United States is the most demographically diverse nation in world history. The foundation of Extension's civil rights policies and procedures is the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which states, "No person in the United States shall on the grounds of race, color, or national origin be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any program or activity receiving federal financial assistance." The word discriminate means that a person or group of people are treated differently from other people or groups. Discrimination may occur if a person is denied benefits or services provided under the program, they are provided a benefit that is different, or is provided in a different manner from that provided to others. They are subjected to segregation or disparate treatment, or they are restricted from taking part in or enjoying any benefit that is enjoyed by others. Discrimination may include disparate treatment, which occurs when someone is treated differently because the person belongs to a certain group. Disparate impact, which occurs when an action or rule has different outcomes for different groups of people. And finally, retaliation, which is when someone receives negative treatment due to their prior civil rights activity or for filing a civil rights complaint. The goal of this training is to help us prevent instances of discrimination within extension programs. An important way to prevent discrimination is to provide information about the availability of extension programs and services to all people who would be interested in our programs or who might benefit from our programs. We can let people know about their right to access extension programs and services through flyers, websites, social media, mail-ins, newspapers, radio, and so on. In an effort to reach out to underserved audiences, we should use targeted outreach through media, community events, and other community organizations to advertise our programs to audiences that don't traditionally use extension programs and services. When advertising our programs, we need to use language, photos, and graphics to convey the message of non-discrimination. Our program announcements and materials should show diversity in race, age, ability, and so forth. By knowing the primary languages used by members of the community, information and outreach can also be provided in these other languages. We also want to advertise potential clientele that we don't discriminate. This is done through the display of the And Justice for All poster in county extension offices, as well as including a non-discrimination statement on all printed materials. We also need to inform other groups that we cooperate with of our non-discrimination policy and our inability to provide significant assistance to any group that discriminates. Everyone who works with or volunteers for cooperative extension, in whatever capacity, must be committed to upholding the true spirit and intent of our non-discrimination statement in our words as well as in our actions. Not so much because it's the legal thing to do, but more importantly, because it's the right thing to do. Volunteers assisting with extension programs and members of our advisory group must follow extension civil rights policies. Our non-discrimination statement serves as an important tool to notify people of the right to participate in our programs. Make sure to include this statement on all printed program announcements, flyers, or brochures. The delivery of extension programs must be done such that individuals or groups of individuals are not denied access to our programs. This begins with considering cultural or ethnic differences when planning programs. A great way to make sure we're considering these differences is by increasing participation on program planning and advisory committees by underrepresented groups. By planning inclusive programming, we are more likely to increase participation in programs by underrepresented groups. We are not permitted to have segregated groups or clubs, which limit membership based on a protected class. To provide access to persons with disabilities, we may have to make adjustments to our programs or facilities or make other accommodations. When conducting programs, we may need to provide language assistance for persons with limited English proficiency. We need you as a volunteer or one of our advisory leaders to help us ensure programs are available to all people that may benefit from participation. We all need to consider the barriers that may affect a person's ability to access our programs. We need to consider the locations of our programs and how we deliver the programs. Access barriers are those factors in a person's environment that, through their absence or presence, limit functioning. These include aspects such as the physical environment that's not accessible, lack of assistive technology, or negative attitudes of people towards disabilities. We are prohibited from discriminating on the basis of a disability in all services, programs, and activities provided to the public. We are obligated to ensure that members of the public are provided reasonable accommodations in order to access program information and services. Your county extension staff can assist with making accommodations for persons with disability. Language barriers impact potential program participants who do not speak English as their primary language and who have limited ability to speak, read, write, or understand English. We are required to take reasonable steps to ensure meaningful access to programs and activities by persons with limited English proficiency. Talk to your county extension staff if language services are needed. Cultural barriers can limit or exclude participation by racial, minority, religious, and ethnic groups. These barriers may exclude clientele from initially attending a program or activity, or may persuade individuals from returning to other programs or activities. Examples of such cultural barriers can include scheduling events that conflict with major religious or ethnic holidays or events, having programs or events in potentially uncomfortable locations such as churches or locations where minority groups were previously rejected or had unpleasant experiences, or holding program activities that include food or activities that are insensitive to the religious or cultural, dietary, or behavioral restriction. Finally, economic barriers can limit or exclude participation of disadvantaged racial, minority, and ethnic groups. Examples include programs or activities that require extensive purchases of equipment or supplies, programs that involve fees, meals, and travel, and programs that are conducted at certain times of the day or certain days of the week. Similarly, families with small children, single parent, two-earner households, or other underserved audiences may be unable to participate in extension events at certain times of the day or certain days of the week. When interacting with others, ask yourself, am I treating this person in the same manner I treat others? Have I provided this person with information needed to make necessary decisions? And am I treating others as I would wish to be treated? Reflection on these three questions will help you ensure all current and potential extension customers are treated with respect. If you encounter a situation where there's conflict, attack the problem, not the person. Conflict resolution is about listening and understanding the problem. Keep an open mind, don't prejudge others, and don't overreact to the situation. Those who believe they've been discriminated against have the right to file a complaint. Most civil rights complaints are actually customer service issues, such as claims of rudeness, impatience, lack of understanding or compassion, and as much as possible, we want these matters resolved at a local level. If a client reports unfair treatment that they perceive to be based on any of the protected classes included in our non-discrimination statement, or if they simply feel they have been discriminated against and want to make a complaint, we are required to assist them. Immediately let an extension staff member know so they can help resolve the situation. All customers or potential customers have the right to file a complaint with the State Extension Office or with the United States Department of Agriculture. Extension is required to collect data on the race, ethnicity, and sex of our program participants and contacts. This data helps us determine if our potential audience is actually using our services, reveals if certain racial or ethnic groups or genders are not receiving services, and improves outreach efforts to underserved groups. It is important that any data you have access to is kept secure and the privacy rights of our participants are maintained. Compliance with civil rights rules and regulations is monitored through annual county extension director reviews, county audits every 4 years by the district extension directors, and periodic on-site reviews by the United States Department of Agriculture. As we conclude, I will leave you with a parting thought. We can learn from crayons. Some are sharp, some are dull, some pretty, some have weird names, and all are different colors. But they all live in the same box.